Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shemal, Shabbat Shem, Kodash. All blessings and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there, because the Most High, Yahweh Shemal Shai, is only dealing with the elect. The ones that will be delivered are the elect, and the main place is America. America, that's where the focus is of us teaching His word, is in America. Not in Ghana, not in Nigeria, not even in South America. If there's camps out there, ask yourself if there's any camps in these Latin countries where Jake lives, the other tribes, mainly the Northern Kingdom. How many of them set up YouTube pages? A few of them, but the few that open up, YouTube pages, nobody's listening to them because the focus is the Israelites here in America. That's where the great deliverance is going to come out of America. You have the IUIC that they're in Africa. They're big in Africa. Give me a second. They're building schools up there and, and so forth. Give me one more minute. But like I said, nothing's going to pan out there. It's all a waste of time. I mean, they're out there teaching the people that they're Israelites, but the focus and the urgency is on the people of America, because salvation is talking about being saved from America, from the destruction. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, as you can see on the screen in front of you, Isaiah 19:18 or 19 verse 18. The importance of the Hebrew, because you have to know some Hebrew. You don't have to speak it fluently, but you have to know some Hebrew. That's the vibration that the Most High is putting back on us. So what I'm going to do, I may attempt to go through either most of this chapter, Isaiah 19, or all of it, but the main verse I want, or verses, would be 18, 19. And I also went to the commentary, and Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges had a lot to say and a lot of precepts. And they really don't know what it's talking about. It's definitely talking about America. It's not talking about ancient Egypt. The prophecy of ancient Egypt took place already. Egypt is not going to be no big prominent country in Bible prophecy. During the time of Moses, we were in Egypt. That's when Egypt had its height. That was the highest that Egypt went. That was the greatest Egypt experience. Other than that, Egypt was just a regional power. So let me just read. I'm so tempted to read the first verse. Let me read the first verse and jump around, okay? So it says, message to Egypt. So we know, well, first of all, Isaiah is a prophet. So he's speaking about something that's going to happen. Like I said, nothing major happened with Egypt or Mizraim from the time of Isaiah writing his prophecy up until now. There's no history where some great thing happened in Egypt. Now you have Israelites, which are called Alexandrian Jews. You know, they were the biggest group of Israelites that came, you know, pursuant to Deuteronomy 16 and 16, that came to Jerusalem for the Passovers and tabernacles and so forth, the Feast of Weeks and so forth, 3 high holy days. So they were the biggest ones. But when they came, during the time of the Pentecost in Acts chapter 2, they were, Old Testament non-messianic Israelites, and the message had to go out. That's why the apostles received the first sign of spiritual power was to speak in tongues, because the people that came from around about that were Israelites that were living in those other lands, they had to hear the word that the Messiah had come. That's why when Stephen was stoned to death, he was speaking about the Messiah. He went all into the history, brought it up to date, and saying that this is the Messiah. The Messiah is here. So they wasn't hearing it. So this is definitely not talking about Egypt coming back in some great power. This is talking about uh, this place here, the U.S., America, the land of Edom. It's also known as Canaan. That's why in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, it speaks about this place being Sodom, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So let me just read the first verse, the burden of Egypt. When you go to Isaiah chapter 13, it says the burden of Babylon. We know how to differentiate between ancient Babylon and the new Babylon. And Christians in general, when you go into prophecy, first of all, Christians don't understand prophecy. Even though scholars don't fully understand. They understand some prophecy, but they don't understand prophecy. They get nervous when you bring up prophecy. So you want to stump them, just go into the prophecies. Don't let them lead you. You lead them. Go into the prophecies. And if they don't like it, they can walk down the street and say, look, we don't need you. We don't need you, Christians. You need us. We don't need vocab. Vocab needs us. So let me just read this. And we don't need the Kemetic community. We don't need Sarnetta. He'll say, see what I was kind enough to let these guys on my platform. First of all, I don't want to be on your goddamn platform. Number one, it said the burden of Egypt. So prophetically, we know if you're an Israelite, one Western, mainly Messianic Israelite, first thing pop in your mind is talking about America, it's talking about the U.S. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. Now we know what the cloud is all about, but we also teach that the angels come down. They come down in the form of men. They come down in the form of spirits. They come down in the form of, terrestrial beings and ships and chariots. It says, and shall come into Egypt or America, and the idols of Egypt, America, shall be moved at his presence. And ultimately, that's when the Lord come back and the angels, second in command will be Michael, and they're going to shake this place. This place is going to be shaken when they come back because of the missiles. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Let me look up that word. Let me look up that word melt real quick. Sometimes when you look up the word melt, sometimes it means actually melt, sometimes it means something else. Okay, good. Good. This is what I wanted. To dissolve, melt, to waste away, to melt, vanish, drop off, melt away. And this place is literally going to melt away from the fire. The hurt, the it says it shall melt with fervent heat. The elements shall melt with fervent heat, proving that the Apostle Peter was a prophet. He was prophesying. A lot of the New Testament is prophecies. It says to faint, grow fearful. The Joel 2 says they fall faces will gather blackness. And that word translates into the word soot. Their faces shall be as flames. Face is a facade. The flames are the missiles. It said to melt, vanish, drop off, melt away, to faint, grow fearful, because before it comes, they're going to be in fear. It says, what does it say about the king of Babylon? Can't think of the scripture. I'm not sure if it's Isaiah 14. So many precepts in my head. It said wasted, worthless, to cause to melt. So the word is, okay, right here, you got the word molten, refuse, which is garbage. Because when the Lord spoke about um, hell in the New Testament, the place where the worm dieth not, and the fire shall not be quenched. He was talking about Gehenna, but America is going to be Gehenna or Hinnom, the valley of Hinnom, because the dead animals and the refuge was burnt, melt away, faint, utterly. Like I said, a lot of precepts come to mind. Isaiah 13, Isaiah 14. There's so many precepts, prophetic precepts that come to mind. As a matter of fact, let me do this. Okay, this is here 21 times. Isaiah 13, verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. But they're going to literally melt. But before the missile, when they see the missiles in the atmosphere, they know that that's impending danger, and their heart is going to melt. They're going to faint. They're going to, piss on themselves. They're going to throw up. They're going to quiver. Look, the prophets quivered and shook and got sick when they saw the prophecies. Can you imagine the prophecy really actually happening and what experience that they're going to have? They're going to throw up on themselves. They're going to shit on themselves. Some of them are going to catch heart attacks. They're going to stroke out. The blood pressure is going to go way up. So a lot of them be in the process of dying from the fear. Uh, Luke 21, Matthew 24, Mark 13, mainly Luke 21. It said, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. There's nothing that they be able to do. And they call it the 12th, I think it's the 12th hour, where there's going to be a major war, and you do things, you negotiate with the nation to stop the war because it's going to lead to a nuclear, thermonuclear war. So that's what's going to happen between Russia and America. So they're going to try to make deals, and Russians are going to be so mad that they're going to say, F your deals, we're going to destroy this place. See, Russia's not going to forget that the fact that when they, went to war with Ukraine, I'll put it to you that way, that's going to lead to that war. Because it had the U.S. or any other nation not given aid in the form of money or weapons, that the Russians would have took Ukraine over a long time ago. That war would have lasted maybe 6 months, if that long. So the war keeps going because of the aid from U.S. and NATO countries. And Poland refuses to even work with them. So there's some things going on behind the scenes. But they're going to remember, what they did in helping the Ukraine. So there's not going to work. Go back to Isaiah chapter 13. They shall not regard the babies, their infants, their little ones, their women. They shall not regard gold or silver. They said our goal is to, totally destroy this place. And then you got the NATO nations, the EU nations that possess missiles. They're going to destroy it too. That's in Revelation as well. So we're in that time. That's why we keep going over and over through these prophetic scriptures, because we're in the time of the fulfillment of prophecy. This is why we always talk about the charagma. And we're the only group that pushes it. There's other groups that teach it and say that the market of, the MOTB is what it is. But no group, no Israelite pushes it the way we push it. Hands down. No Israelite pushes it the way we push it. We push it to ad nauseum. Look those terms up. It says, okay, so here it is, Isaiah 19:1. It says melt, okay? Isaiah 34, verse 3. Their slain, their dead bodies shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Mountains represent governments. So other governments, there's going to be the whole world's going to be shooken up. So there's going to be earthquakes in various places. But the main focus is going to be on this place, Egypt. So that's what Isaiah chapter 19 is all about. The vision that he saw of Egypt, the new Egypt, Sodom and Egypt. Let me go to here, Ezekiel 21, verse 7. And it shall be when they say unto thee, wherefore sighest thou, that thou shalt answer for the tidings, because it cometh, and every heart shall melt. We can use this. And all hands shall be feeble. Now this goes hand in hand with Isaiah chapter 13. All hands shall be feeble. Ezekiel 21, verse 7. Ezekiel 21, verse 7. And every spirit shall faint. Luke 21, Isaiah 13. And all knees shall be weak as water. We got to start using this. Ezekiel 21, verse 7. It cometh, what cometh? The destruction, and shall be brought to pass, saith Yahweh of hosts. So that's our hope that we get the fuck out of here. So when we get out of here, the first thing we got to do the last test for the elect to Israel is the charagma, which when it comes, these other camps are not going to be ready for it. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. It's like Grand Central Station up in here. Micah 1, verse 4. Let's see what that says. And the mountain shall be molten under him, and the valleys, the lowlands, shall be cliffs as wax before the fire. And that's what the missiles are going to do. As wax before the fire, Micah 1, verse 4, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. What is this? Nehemiah or Nahum? I'm sorry. Let's find out. It's got to be Nahum. This is Nahum. Okay, it says the overthrow of Nineveh, which represents this place right here, the U.S. There's another one that could be used. She, which is Babylon, is empty and void and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together or shake, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of them all gather blackness. All gather blackness, which is soot. Let me do this. See, it says blackness here. Okay, good. Joel 2. I mentioned that. Before their before their face, the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. So we know that this is talking about the same, it's going into the same subject, the destruction. If you go, I went to this one store where I get certain things. It's like a dollar store, but some things could be more than a dollar. They're not even no more dollar stores. Things are like $2 now, $1.25. Some things are $5. But I went to get a couple of things, and the shelves are always full. And I noticed that there were certain areas of that particular place where where they didn't have the product that I was even looking for. And they used to have that product in abundance. So there's shortages, and there'll be more shortages. Uh, Second Ezra's chapter 15 and 6, mainly chapter 15. It says, she is empty and void. and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of them all gathered blackness. So anyway, let me come back over here where I started from. A message about Egypt. This message came, and this is an NLT. This message came to me concerning Egypt. Look, Yahweh is advancing against Egypt, riding on a swift cloud. The idols of Egypt tremble, the hearts of the Egyptians melt with fear. Second verse, I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian. If Satan be divided, how can it stand? If a kingdom be divided, how can that kingdom stand? Brother against brother. There's a split between the Republicans and the Democrat, and a lot of Jakes they don't believe in the Democratic Party no more. They don't believe in the political system, especially Jake men. The Jake women, they believe in something. And there was one, what state was that? I believe that was, if I'm not mistaken, there was this mayor that was a Democrat. I believe he's a Jake, could be an Edomite. And he been a lifelong Democrat. Now he's a Republican. But with this guy Biden, ain't nobody. They trying to they're trying to ramp this guy up, because he's in solidarity with the unions. So he's trying to be with the common man. He's trying to ramp up his campaign so he can be president, man. I'll be surprised if he is president. Then it was truly a rigged thing, and Trump was right. But I believe we'll see. We'll see, because who has the final say? Not the voters, but the elite. And by the way, the Caesars of Rome, they did not run shit. They were just presidents. That's all they were. They were people behind the scenes. And you know how I know that? I mean, I got to find a full proof. Who were the elites behind the Caesars? There was always they got marching orders, but a lot of them did their own thing. A lot of them that got killed, they were killed by the Praetorian guards. Look, Commodus got killed at the order of the Praetorian guards. They set him up that a wrestler put a chokehold on him and choked him to death because he was corrupt as hell, not like his father. The Praetorian guards loved his father. I'm all over the place. Second verse, I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor. That's what? Second Ezra chapter 15. City against city. They shall not enter into the next city because of the fear. Merely paraphrasing. Province against province. What's a province? A province is a state. So you got blue states, you got red states, and you got purple states. So it's an exact split. The Egyptians will lose heart and will confuse their plans, and I will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom. The gods that the elite worship are spiritual demons on the left-hand side. They'll tell you that I'm a born-again Christian, I'm a Christian, but behind closed doors, worshiping demons, and call on like entertainers and sports figures among Jake. They got to take that oath. They got to bend over, so to speak, or bend somebody else over. They got to do certain things and certain rituals. You got that movie out, the Book of Clarence, or the Life of Clarence, whatever, and it was backed by Jay-Z, and Jay-Z is an insider. He's nothing more than uh, control opposition. Look those terms up, and call on spirits, mediums. There it goes, and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead. Like FDR's wife, Eleanor um, Roosevelt, she actually openly consulted the dead. And Hillary Clinton idolized Eleanor. We keep saying Eleanor Bumpers, that was wicked. They're gonna Edomite cops. They're gonna get tortured. You know. Um, like I said, Hillary Clinton, inside joke. She worshipped uh, um, Eleanor Roosevelt, and she's into that too. That spirits and mediums and so forth. So really, this is not a Christian. They put that Christian front up. Everybody's waking up to the fact that this is one big lie. There's a demonic place. I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them, saith the Lord of heaven and earth. Now, of heavens and armies. The ultimate Lord is our Lord when he comes, but what precept comes to mind is they shall come down among you having great wrath, because they know if they'd have a short time. Because when they push the charagma, there's going to be a certain segment of society in America that's going to know it's an MOTB, and they're not going to want to take it. So they were pushing that the C19, the juice. They were pushing that hard, man. You couldn't go out, you couldn't shop, you had to be locked up, you had to be home by 8 o'clock. You had in New York, at least, you had the plainclothes police seeing people with no mask and jumping them, beating the shit out of them, man. And they wasn't wearing no mask. So this society is all fucked up. So guess what? What's left for this society? And look, Trump is not going to bring America back. He's not going to make America great again. And if he becomes the president, he'll most likely be the one, most high willing, that ushers in this destruction. But that's Nero coming back. He was known for the fight. His fame, when you read about Nero, part of his fame was he burnt down Rome and blamed it on the Christians and the Israelites. I'm thinking out loud, basically. Okay, 10 verse. Isaiah 19, verse 10 in the NLT. They will be in despair, and all the workers will be sick at heart. What? Oh, you got this. Well, that's in Ecclesiastes 12 about people don't want to come. They used to, not working. People, they had the rent moratorium where people didn't have to pay rent, and the landlords couldn't kick them out. They couldn't evict them, and the courts were even closed. So you can't evict nobody unless you have a court. So you had people living in apartment buildings, maybe 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, whatever the case may be, renting houses, that they were just living in the houses rent free for what, 2 years? So now there's a lot of evictions going on because now the landlords are trying to get that money back. Or even if they say, you know what, I just want the money that you're living in now, but a lot of them don't want to work. So this place is effed up all the way around. What fools are the officials of Zoan? Right, Zoan was is associated with the five cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, because ultimately the leaders of Sodom and Gomorrah and Zoan, Admah and Zeboam. Is this Zoan the same Zoan? I'm sorry. Let me look up Zoan. I said Zeboam. I don't know why I said Zoan. This is one of the cities. Zoan. Let's look up Zoan. So I was wrong on that one. And the word is Tzayawan, which means place of departure. Okay, an ancient city of Lower Egypt called Tanis by the Greeks. I believe that's Tunis today, located on the eastern bank of the Tanitic branch of the Nile, the capital of this Shepherd dynasty. Oh, the capital of the Shepherd dynasty. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the Hyksos, which are Israelites. They were doing very well. The Shepherd Kings, they called them. Built 7 years after Hebron. And that's when they said we got to take these people down because they're gonna put us into captivity. Before Abraham and dwelling a place of the Pharaoh at the time of the Exodus. We come back. I'm all over the place. And come back again. Okay, I want to jump right down to here. I'm going a little bit long. Let me come down to this. You know what? Let me start the 16th verse. It says, in that, you really got to read this whole chapter. In that day, the Egyptian will be as weak as women. We normally go to Nahum 3 and Jeremiah about concerning women, but there's another one, Isaiah 19 and 16. They will cower in fear beneath the uprise of fists of, I love this, but they will cower in fear beneath the upraised fists of Yahweh of heaven's armies. One of the Most High's armies, or Yahweh's armies, are the missiles. So that's what they're going to fear. Just to speak the name of Yeshua, just to speak the name, I love this NLT, just to speak the name of Israel will terrorize them. Because Esau, hey, all these guys, you got vocab, got different guests on. They're all terrorized. They're all terrified. They're all terrified. Give me a second. So this is beautiful, man. Hey, you got the committees getting together in DC about the UFOs. What are they all? What are they all about? Because they're scared. And then when they give their testimony of these different officers, the Navy, the Air Force, and so forth, high-ranking men of Babylon, they all, some of them say, you know, well, it was a few of them that said that. They said they spoke about the technology, and they explained the things that these UAPs did. They would go in the water, they would disappear, they would appear, you know, with the naked eye, but they wouldn't appear on radar. They can defy gravity. and so forth. And they said, pretty much, they said that this technology is 1,000 years beyond ours. How are you going to deal with technology? Like you take the military of today against, let's say, the Canaanites with their swords. They'll wipe them out inside of an hour. So they're saying that if these people attack us, we're definitely, we're going to lose. So it says, 17 verse, just to speak the name Israel will terrorize them. Because when they hear about the Israelites, there's too many groups out there. There's too many Israelites out there pushing this word. And all the entertainers, as I said in previous videos, and other men at GMS and said, and even other groups, that all of the, LeBron James, you name them, Denzel Washington, you know, you name any entertainer, and they know about the Israelites. They know about the IUIC, the ISUBK, the GMS, the Sakari, and a lot of them are like secret, you know, uh, followers of us, which that's in Galatians chapter 2. Paul spoke about that. So it says, for Yahweh, I'm still in the 17th verse, for Yahweh of heaven's armies with the missiles has laid out his plans against them. So when did he give the plans out? He gave the plans to the prophets. He gave them to the ancient prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and so forth, Obadiah, Joel. Obadiah, how you living? Inside joke. You brothers that go way back, you know what I'm talking about. The Black Watch with General Yohana. But that was a theme song of a TV show that General Yohana had called The Black Watch. And we used to fight to get on his show, you know? Like he told me one time he had the top 7 going on the show, but he said, look, Tahar, I made this particular garment. And he said, Tahar, if you can make me a garment like that, I'll put you in front of all of the 7 to be on the next show. But that was a hard, that spirit was on me to make that garment. I call it the Byzantine garment. I didn't have no real tools and shit, you know. The spirit made me make that. That was a bad garment. That was a bad garment, you know. Anyway, let me get back into it. I'm all over the place. It says, just to speak the name of Yasha Allah will terrorize them. Because they don't know, we got to do something about these. They're all over the place. For Yahweh of heaven's armies has laid out his plans against them. So he gave the plans to the prophets of old, but he didn't explain the plans. Even when the angels explained the plans, the prophecies, they still didn't get it. So who got it now? Who knows the plans of the ancient the prophecies? We do. So we must be them same prophets. It says in that day, 5 Egyptian cities replace the word Egyptian with American. 5, and that 5 doesn't actually mean the exact number 5. It means there's going to be major places in Egypt or America that you're going to have a lot of, like New York is a major place. Cali is a major place. Chicago is a major place. Florida is a major place. These are major places in America. It says, in that day, 5 of Egyptian cities, America's cities, will follow the Lord, meaning they're going to wake up to the fact that they're Israelites. And where did it come from? It came from New York, out of Harlem, 1 West 125th Street. It says, in that day, 5 of Egypt's cities will follow Yahweh. The word there is Yahweh, of heaven's armies. They will even begin, meaning they're learning. That doesn't mean we know Hebrew, what's the word? Fluently. Now, we had a brother, Shalimar, that his parents were Israelites, and they knew how to speak Hebrew. So he knew how to speak Hebrew, and he was at the One West School, and he was taught the ancient Hebrew by High Priest Ariel, when we had the Hebrew class on Saturdays, nobody showed up, just me and a couple other brothers. And he surpassed High Priest Ariel in the ancient Hebrew, and he was able to speak to it. He can speak ancient Hebrew, then he can turn around and speak to them small hats. So he spoke fluent Hebrew. He spoke fluent Hebrew. He wasn't all that in the prophecy of the scriptures, but when it came to Hebrew, he far surpassed. Even Ariel said, "Man, that man, he done passed me." And High Priest Ariel was bad in the Hebrew, you know. And me and Ariel used to speak Hebrew coming back from speaking because we used to take trains back and forth, mainly on 34th Street, and we would be having conversation in the Hebrew, and that's when I was able to speak it, and Ariel was able to speak it. The way you speak it is you got to have people around you to speak it to. If you don't, if you grow up in America, you from Puerto Rico, and you around people that only speak English, your family don't even speak English, or your abuela or abuelo, they speak it, but they hardly ever around. But your parents don't speak it because they kind of Americanized. You're not gonna really be that fluent in the Hebrew unless you're around in the Spanish, unless you're around people that's always speaking it. Got a lot of the Latin tribes in America, second, third, fourth generation, fifth generation, that speak very little Spanish. They will even begin to speak Hebrew. They will even begin to speak Hebrew. So they're learning the Hebrew. That's why we know the name of the Most High Yahweh and his son's name Yahweh Shai. And for, General Nathaniel to say that we don't know the Hebrew. Well, he damn sure called on that name when he got out that hospital, when he thought he was going to die. When he made it to a 2022 Passover, go, if you don't believe me, go see the first 10, 20 minutes. He said Yahweh and Yahweh Shai in that order. He didn't say Most High and Christ bless because he thought he was going to die. And then Bishop Kanai said the same thing, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai? But he stumbled on the word Yahweh Shai because they haven't said it, because that was out of fear. But then guess what? As soon as he got back into health, he went back to call on Most High and Christ bless. That's why we say the Most High going to break that group up. It says, so we know that the name is Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai through the Spirit, by faith. Until it's proven otherwise, that's the name that we're going to use. And why would the Most High and his son say, speak my name, but not give us a name? That would make the Most High a stupid God. Look, you got to call my name. What's your name? I ain't going to tell you. That don't make no sense. The Most High is not Rumpelstiltskin, fool. It says they will even begin to speak Hebrew, the language of Canaan, because the Canaanites spoke what language? They spoke Hebrew. If you go to Phoenician Hebrew or the Phoenician tongue, it will take you to ancient Hebrew. Or Canaanite tongue, Canaanite language, it would take you to the ancient Hebrew. One of these cities will be Heliopolis, the city of the sun. So now that would most likely be New York today, if you bring it up to date. It says, in that day, there will be an altar to the Lord. So America is nothing but a gigantic altar under the vibration of 5,000 square miles to Yahweh in the what? In the heart of Egypt. What's the heart of America? Not the Midwest. It's like you got DC, which is the East Coast, but you really got New York. You got the UN. All these nations come to New York for these. So this is the heart of America. Now the Midwest is the heartland of America, but the heart of America is New York. And there will be a monument to Yahweh at his border. It says it will. So this is like Egypt, and this is Israel. So Jerusalem in Babylon, because Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. It says, it will be a sign and a witness that Yahweh of heaven's armies is worshipped in the land. Ooh, ooh, it will be a sign and a witness that Yahweh of heaven's armies is the army that he's getting ready to pull out, or the missiles, is worshipped in the land of Egypt. It ain't talking about ancient Egypt. It's talking about the new Egypt, Egypt, Sodom, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. When the people cry to Yahweh, that's what is it? First Kings chapter 8. If we all cry to Yahweh, the Most High would take down our enemies. So who's keeping us back? These jakes. That's why I fuck these niggas, man. They keeping us back from the kingdom. It says when the people cry to Yahweh, how do you cry to Yahweh? You scream and put prayers up. You go out and teach his word. That's why he's not going to wait for Jake to wake up. He's going to take a certain number of Jake, which is the elect, and destroy the rest of you with your enemies. For cry to Yahweh for help against those who oppress them. Who's Isaiah 14 and 2. And so, impress those that oppressed us. He will send them a savior who will rescue them. Who's the savior? Our Lord. Obadiah speaks of us being saviors with an S, because we're bringing you to the door. We're the doorkeepers. The door is Yahweh Shai. 21st verse. Yahweh will make himself known to the Egyptians. How will he make himself known to the Egyptians? By these UAP sightings. Mosai just playing with them. Yes, they will know Yahweh. There's going to come a point where they're going to say there's a spiritual being out, because Esau really don't believe in the Most High. They might say it, but they don't believe, and will give their sacrifices and offerings to him. They will make a vow to Yahweh and will keep it. Now that's talking about us. The ones of us that come into this truth and continue to this truth and endure to the earth, or to the end, not the ones that came in and fell back out. 22nd verse. Yahweh will strike Egypt. We know what Egypt that's talking about. And then he will bring healing for the Egyptians, meaning the Israelites in America will turn to Yahweh. Like you have these earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and mass shootings and fires and all kind of stuff happening, and diseases. And he will listen to their pleas. He ain't listening to the pleas of the enemy. He's listening to our pleas and heal them. And that day, Egypt and Assyria will be connected. Now it says, let me do this. This is in Hosea. I'm gonna do it the easy way. I don't remember these scriptures like I used to. Okay, Hosea. That's what I wanted. I was looking for one precept, but it gave me three precepts. It says Hosea 7, verse 11, Hosea 8, verse 9, Hosea 9, verse 3. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. So Assyria and Egypt, like the Puerto Rico is not America, but then again, it is America. It's like a colony of America. It's a commonwealth of America. So they can get welfare and food stamps and social security numbers. It's not a part of America, but then again, it is a part of America. It's not an official state. It says, for they are going up to Assyria. So Assyria is interchangeable with the word Egypt, Babylon. It says, for they are going up to Assyria. Where'd they come from? Puerto Rico. A wild ass alone by himself, Ephraim hath hired lovers. Because they bringing that Roman Catholic nonsense with them. They like to marry Edomites. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things in Assyria. So Egypt, we know, is America, and Assyria is also America. Because where are we going to eat unclean things? In the Americas. That's where Ephraim's still eating octopus, squid salads, octopus salads. Pork. Oh, they love some pork. They love them some pork. And then they're Roman Catholics, and not many of them are coming out of that wickedness that they're in. What is that? Ezekiel, what is that, 4? It says, our food shall be defiled among the Gentiles. So that Ezekiel 4 is talking about America. So this is America. This represents, so when you see the word Egypt and Assyria or Babylon, it's all talking about America. Here we go. Let me read this 22nd verse again. Yahweh will strike Egypt, and then he will bring healing for the Egyptian, meaning the Israelites in America. In that day, Egypt and Assyria will be connected by a highway. The Egyptians and the Assyrians will move freely between their lands, and they will both worship the Most High. So, like I said, the major place that we supposed to be pushing this word be on the highways and the byways. Look, we went out there last week. I made a statement. I said that a week ago, 2 weeks before that, I believe. I know it was a week ago. We said, I bet you there's not a lot of camps out there, and there's not. And there's a reason why the Most High, the Lord said to go out on the highways and the byways so we can be seen out there. These guys are not on fire like they're supposed to be. There should be at least 1,000 camps out there in New York alone, like the New York City area. There should be at least, and that's a small number. That's why Claudius kicked the Christians and the Hebrews, the Jews out, because they were raising hell. Give me. That's a bishop. Give me a second here. Go ahead. Okay, I need you to get me. Let me see. I need you to give me some oil of oregano, 2 bottles, extra strength if you can find it. Also, give me some more of the wormwood, black walnut, and I believe that's it. And this brother should have some things for you, right? All right, Shalom. How much you got? That was Sakurai, boss, Bishop Sakurai. And Israel will be their ally. The 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 three will be together. That's Jeremiah, and Israel be a blessing to them. Judah and Israel shall be oppressed together. For Yahweh heaven's armies will say, blessed be Egypt, meaning the Israelites in Egypt, America, my people. Blessed be Assyria and the land I have made. Blessed be Yasha my special possession. So wait a minute. If we're the special possession of the Most High, did the Most High change? Meddle not with them that are given to change. The Most High change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So he never changed. So vocab talking about what do you call it? Replacement theology, supersessionism. That anytime you see Israel, it's really talking about believe it. No, it ain't talking about that. It's talking about national Israel. Anyway, with that, I went long. Please forgive me. With that, shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.